Hello, another story. This story's an absolute belter, so here we go. Martin and the DTs. Martin has been on the booze for about a month. He's been holed up in his house, relying on friends to bring him carryouts when it's been too much for him to leave the house himself. That's all changing. A couple of days have passed since Martin has been able to get hold of someone and is beginning to feel like shit. No one will answer their phone. He can't get hold of anyone to bring him drink. He's not thinking clearly and feeling a bit confused. Here's what a normal alcohol withdrawal time frame looks like. First 12 hours. During this stage, an alcoholic will feel strong cravings and may experience headaches. Depending on the severity of their habit, they may also vomit or feel painful stomach cramps. Oof. Fuck this shit, thinks Martin. I'm going to have to drag my carcass to the fucking shop and get some booze. I can't handle this. Martin hasn't eaten properly in weeks. He can't remember the last thing he ate. This has been a bad one. The boozing has gotten way out of control. Fuck knows how long I've been on it this time, thinks Martin. 12 to 48 hours. Heading into the first day, the alcoholic will start to feel feverish. Their body temperature will increase, their heart will pump faster, and they will feel increasingly anxious. It is common when withdrawing from alcohol to experience confusion during this time. Through his hazy thoughts, Martin manages to dress and clean himself up a bit. This has taken tremendous effort, and he's not feeling good. He knows the score though, and if he doesn't get some booze into himself soon, things are going to get pretty nasty. It's not Martin's first time in this predicament. In the back of his mind, hiding away behind all the confusion and mist, he knows of the horrors that may come to visit. Withdrawal from this amount of booze is a serious matter. Martin gently closes the door behind him as he attempts to make it to the carry-out shop. The street looks quiet enough, so far so good, he thinks. I'll head round by the golf course, cut through the wood and keep a low profile. Martin makes his way through the woods toward the golf course, a wee shortcut. 48 to 72 hours. By this point, withdrawal, delirium will set in. If the alcoholic is at risk for delirium tremens, the symptoms will begin to appear. Oof. They may experience seizures, hallucinations, or strong shakes. This is considered to be the withdrawal peak, and if the addict is not treated properly, they may die during this phase. Oof. Walking through the woods, Martin has almost made it to the golf course. Martin going. Martin going. Martin has gone to the land of the DTs. Who the fuck is that shouting at me, he thinks. Can't see any fucker. The sky looks a funny colour. Martin, we're up here. What the fuck are you doing up the fucking trees? He sees, in the hallucinogenic world that he has now entered, 6 of his friends perched on the highest branches of a group of trees. We've just climbed up for a bit of fun. Come on up, you madman. This sounds like a great idea to Martin. He shouts up to his friend John. You seem awfully high up there, John. Is it an easy climb? Aye, it's an easy climb, replies John. Come on up. Martin starts his attempt to climb the trees, only to hear Dunk and Linda shout from the other trees. Before you climb up, Martin, going to go get a ladder from somewhere. Linda's stuck up here and wanting down. No bother, Dunk. I'll nip along to the hoosies and see what I can do. At this point on the golf course, 4 local guys are playing the hole next to the trees that Martin is shouting at. They, of course, can only see Martin because, in the real world, Martin is the only one there. What the fuck is this lunatic up to? Should we go over and check what's happening with him? Nah, leave the fucking nutter alone. Martin heads over to the nearby houses, searching for a ladder to help one of his imaginary friends get down from the treetops, all logical in Martin's mind. He's moving from the hallucinogenic to functioning human and back to the hallucinogenic stage very quickly. He really does think that he's helping someone out by fetching a ladder. After chapping some doors and having no success, He approaches the next house, which has a large driveway. Martin going. Martin going. Martin re-enters the DT world again. Two men are standing in the driveway, watching Martin as he approaches. "All righty," says Martin. "Could you help me out here by lending me a ladder? One of my friends over there up the trees is stuck." The nastier looking of the two turns to Martin and says, "You better fuck off right now, pal." Martin is feeling very uncomfortable with the man's attitude. The sweat is lashing from Martin and he has noticed that the sky has gone a strange colour again. "No need to be like that, pal. I'm only trying to help someone out." As Martin turns and walks away, he senses danger. He thinks he hears one of the men whisper, "Let's do him." Martin feels panic wash over him. He turns to see one of the men pull an enormous shiny meat cleaver from inside his jacket. Martin takes off, fucking terrified. "What the fuck? I was only asking for a ladder and this cunt wants to chop me up. Run, for fuck's sake." Like Usain Bolt, Martin runs like fuck. He doesn't dare look back for fear of tripping over and being caught and chopped. The trees are whizzing past him. He doesn't remember ever being able to run this fast. He can hear the fuckers behind him shouting, "Catch the bastard! Chop his head off!" Martin ain't stopping for nobody. He has his house in sight and he's going to make it home and get the door locked behind him. He busts through the front door in blind panic, forgetting to close it behind him, and bolts up the stairs. Nothing is going to stop his quest for safety. He opens the top hall cupboard and like a gymnast, he's up the door and in through the attic hatch. He puts the hatch back in place and stands on it with all his weight. He's made it, and he breathes a sigh of relief. Just at that, he hears the two guys enter the house. What the fuck? Shh. Martin tries to quietly catch his breath as he listens for the would-be assailants' next move. "The bastard's up in the attic," he hears them say, followed by the sound of footsteps coming up the stairs. Martin's heartbeat is pulsating through his body and beating in his ears. His chest is banging like a drum. The sweat trickles down his face. He feels it running down his legs, running down his arms, his back. "Don't faint now, for fuck's sake. These bastards will chop me up." He feels the attic hatch moving. They're trying to force their way up into the attic. Martin pushes on the beams above his head and puts all his weight on the hatch. "Don't let them get up here, whatever happens. Don't let them get up here with that cleaver." Fucking hell. Time passes. How much time? Martin has no idea. There's been no attempt on the hatch for a while. Have they gone? Martin listens for any kind of noise. His senses are on alert. He feels wired to the moon. Not a sound. No movement. He decides enough time has passed and opens the hatch. He knows that he must proceed with caution. Martin dreepies down from the attic. Coast seems to be clear. He stealthily descends the stairs and enters the living room where his da is sitting watching TV. "Da, where the fuck did those two guys go?" His da can see that Martin is not in good shape. "What two guys would that be, Martin?" "Two guys, da. One with a fucking meat cleaver. They want to chop me up because I wanted to borrow a ladder to get Linda down for the trees. John and Dunk and all them are up the top of the trees at the golfie." Martin's da knows the time has come to call for the doctor. Martin's friend John died years ago. Dunk and Linda moved away. The hallucinations are mighty strong this time. His dad calls the doctor. Martin goes up to his bedroom. He's feeling confused about what's been going on, and he knows that he's feeling very ill. Martin has a seat and tries to work out what's happening. "We wish ya a Merry Christmas." Martin hears a distant German-sounding voice. "We wish ya a Merry Christmas." I'm not very good at German-sounding voices. Where the fuck is that coming from, thinks Martin. "We wish ya a Merry Christmas." Martin looks around his room. No TV on, no radio on. The voice becomes louder now, more demonic sounding. still with a German accent. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. And on it goes. We wish you a Merry Christmas. On and on. The voices in Martin's head go. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Martin presses his hands against his head, pleading with the voices to stop. We wish you a Merry Christmas. What the fuck is happening to me? It's the middle of summer. What the fuck is going on? We wish you a Merry Christmas. On and on it goes. Martin starts to bang his head off the table, pleading for the voice to stop. But on it goes. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Martin knows now that this is part of the horrors associated with severe alcohol withdrawal. During this little moment of clarity, Martin remembers being advised to focus on something, a distraction of sorts. We wish you a Merry Christmas. He moves to the bathroom, where running a bath seems like the perfect distraction. Martin turns on the bath taps, hoping to drown out the demonic German voice playing on a loop in his head. We wish you a Merry Christmas. The water starts to flow from both taps. He sticks the plug in, allowing the bath to fill. He thinks a fucking bath's going to help him. He thinks a fucking bath's going to help him. He thinks a fucking bath is going to help him. Martin now realises the bath taps are talking to him. He thinks a fucking bath's going to help him. He thinks a fucking bath's going to help him. Fuck this. He turns the taps off and runs from the house. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Leaves with Martin. Martin heads to the local reservoir, an area he knows well, hoping to find some peace. He's lost all track of time, and darkness soon arrives. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. He walks around the reservoir through the night, resting here and there on the randomly placed wooden benches. We wish you a Merry Christmas plays on loop in Martin's head throughout the night. The plan is to wait for Bob's shop to open at 6, plead with Bob for a bottle of whiskey, get a good drink in himself, and restore some balance to this fucking nuttiness. 6 a.m. arrives and Bob opens the shop to find Martin at the door. Bob knows Martin and has seen him in many bad conditions, but Bob is startled by how terrible Martin is looking. Martin pleads for the whiskey. Bob knows the score and helps Martin out by giving it to him. Within the hour, they find Martin laying on the pavement, unconscious, the empty bottle by his side. It's the police who have found him. They've been looking for him since late last night after Martin's dad had phoned them. An ambulance is called. Martin regains consciousness in the hospital, looking around, confused, trying to work out where he is and why. He notes all the tubes entering his arms and a few wires connected here and there. Monitors are beeping away at the side of his bed. There's also a nurse, a guard, thinks Martin. What the fuck is all this about? Martin going. Martin going. Martin's DT's return. He sees the hospital wall open to reveal a Rastafarian disco. Martin, what you wanting? What you drink? The place is full of the most beautiful Jamaican women that Martin has ever cast eyes on. They are all dressed in magnificent colours, long swaying robes, all shining in the disco lights, each woman prettier than the last. The one behind the bar that has poured Martin a drink and is shouting over to him is the personification of beauty, a goddess in the flesh. Martin cannot believe his luck. I'm having some of this, he thinks, as he starts to pull at the tubes and wires attached to him. John, the nurse, is up like a shot. Martin, what's happening, my friend? Talk to me. It's all good, says Martin. I'm having some of this. He has a serious attempt to free himself, but John tries his best to calm him. Get the fuck away from me. I'm going over to join that disco, and you're not going to fucking stop me. John, the nurse, walks to the wall and starts to bang his palms off the wall. This is just a wall, Martin. You're hallucinating. It's no fucking will. It's a disco full of beautiful women. Listen, mate, I know you need to make some money on the side, and this is as good a sideline hustle as I've ever seen. I'm having some, mate. Martin's last words as the emergency doctor arrives to sedate him. What time's this nightclub open till? For fuck's sake. Delirium Tremens, a dangerous but preventable condition. Unfortunately, the DTs are a potential reality for some drinkers. After all, alcohol is a powerful drug. No one plans to become addicted to alcohol, but many find themselves slowly slipping into the battle with addiction. Before you know it, you're unable to withdraw from alcohol without experiencing these life-threatening symptoms. Luckily, however, delirium tremens is both curable and preventable. All you need is the right type of support. Seriously ill. Invasive endocarditis infection of the inner lining of your heart, chambers and valves, left lung collapsed, low blood pressure, kidneys are failing, and sepsis. Fuck. Martin has indeed not been looking after himself. His family are told that it's unlikely he will survive through the night. If he makes it through, the doctors will decide if he is savable. Martin somehow fights through the night with no idea what is going on in his life. He opens his eyes to see about 10 people with white coats on, doctors, consultants, experts of all kinds deciding if it's possible to save him. Martin can hear the proceedings. He can't speak. He's not sure why. He hears the prognosis and it's not good. For the first time, Martin is hit by the seriousness of the situation. This is life or death. Mr. Pathy seems to be the leader. Martin can see and hear him speak to each doctor in turn. Martin is terrified. Mr. Pathy turns and looks directly at him. Martin knows this is it. The next decision is that Mr. Pathy makes will decide his fate. Martin tries to plead for his life. He doesn't want to die. He wants another chance at life. He wants to clean up, sober up. At that moment, Martin wants life, not death. He can't speak, can't move, must have me drugged up, he thinks. He tries to plead for his life with his eyes. Martin looks directly back at Mr. Pathy, begging for his life. Everything stops. Time stops. There is nothingness. Mr. Pathy says, "Let's get this man to the Jubilee Hospital now. Save this man before it's too late." Martin starts to cry. His family are informed and advised to get to the hospital. It's all go. Martin will be taken to the Jubilee and everything possible will be done to save his life. He is getting his chance. Can he take it? Martin is aware now of what's happening. He's been given a chance. His family are all around him, wishing him well. As he is wheeled from the ward to the awaiting ambulance, it's happening fast. Into the lift, out through the hospital, up into the ambulance, transferred onto the ambulance bed. This is it, heading to the ICU. God help me, please. Martin prays for the first time in his life. The flashing blue lights are on, the siren is on, the ambulance pulls away at speed. This is indeed life or death. For fuck's sake, Martin is thrown violently against the rear doors of the ambulance. They haven't strapped him in. The nurse is banging through to the driver. "Stop this fucking ambulance, he's been thrown against the doors." Martin's nightmare continues. The driver pulls over and comes back to help strap Martin in. Theatre lights, shiny things, chest getting shaved. The attempt to save his life begins. He goes through 2 8-hour operations, receives a new aortic valve, gets a couple of stents put in, and some other minor stuff is taken care of. Martin survives. He spends 17 days in hospital recovering his strength. During this time, he is sectioned under the Mental Health Act and kept under supervision. Wow. What a journey it's been for Martin as he sits across from me, sipping his coffee, telling this story of mayhem. He reminds me that all this took place a few years back, and clean living is now where it's at. Fucking hell. That's a wild one.